magic, where magic meets the heart. Commander's Pod, where the stories unfold, with heroes and villains new and old. Duncan, Jeff, and Sloan got the word. In the world of EV8 we play.
Hello everyone, welcome again to Commander's Pod. I'm your Podfather Duncan.
I'm Sloan.
And I'm Jeff.
And thank you for joining us today. We are going to talk about the best green cards to upgrade Precons with.
In our opinion.
Yeah, in our opinion.
I mean, some of them might just be right, though, too.
Yeah.
Very Johnny statement.
Yep. We will have, I don't know if we'll have Aggro Jeff, but we'll have Jeff.
Emo Jeff.
Emo Jeff?
Yeah.
Emoting Jeff.
We'll have some Tales from the Table, and we have an email from a fan, so
Yeah.
We got some stuff to talk about. So, Emo Jeff, what's emo?
Yeah, so I'll get a little personal for a second. When I was growing up, I grew up in a single parent home. There was no father figure. There was no dad around. I had father figures in my life, which were good, but no dad around. And now, as my kids are 12 and 14 years old, and I've spent a few years now doing magic with them, and there have been times where they're like uninterested, right? I've never pushed them. I've never, required it. It's never like whatever they want to do, Dad will spend time doing with them. But they have really got into it recently, and we've been playing games about every other day. Magic, if not sometimes every day. And then they just recently went into a tournament at the local shop, the thing that they did last time with the Precons. And my kids had a great time. And just doing things with your kids is awesome. And knowing that I can do something that I didn't get to do, that I didn't have as a kid, is really pretty awesome. So if you guys are parents out there and it's hard to teach your kids, which it is, and it's hard to be patient as they ebb and flow from their joy of magic or whatever other things they may ebb and flow from, it's worth the investment. Just keep at it, and eventually it'll pay off. And I'm just telling you, man, it's so great. Life is good, and I'm just really happy.
Awesome. So pretty much opposite of Aggro Jeff.
Opposite. Emo Jeff.
He was happy, and B, it was about magic.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, wow. And one of your sons, Jaden, I believe, is playing Simone, and you had a story about that.
Yeah,
right?
I think Johnny's going to update us on how this all works.
Yeah, so the Commander Zimone Mystery Unraveler 2, green-blue, 3/3 human wizard with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, manifest dread if this is the first time this ability has resolved this turn. Otherwise, you may turn a permanent you control face up. So the combo is your commander is out and you have already done one landfall trigger. You do Yavimaya Elder and Eudora, Grave Gardener. So Yavimaya Elder is 1 green, 2/1 human druid with whenever Yavimaya Elder dies, you may search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library, pay 2, sacrifice him, draw a card. And then Eudora, Grave Gardener is a 4 green, 5/5 tree folk druid with whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control. It's a forest land. So essentially the combo goes is as long as you've done one landfall trigger, you can pay Yavimaya into his ability to sacrifice him. When he dies, he will be turned into a forest and put face down on the field. When he comes back into play, you then trigger Zimone's ability, which allows you to flip over one permanent. So before you flip over Yavimaya Elder, you tap him for the green that he can produce, and then you flip him over. And as long as you have one other way to produce green, you can then pay for his ability to sack him again and keep doing it over and over again. So the nice thing about his ability is it's not a tap ability. So there's no summoning sickness. All you have to do is pay 2 and sack him. So by doing that combo, and ironically enough, we're talking about upgrading green Precons today. This is a Precon. This is the deck that, as mentioned before, Jaden is playing in the Precon tournament.
And this is the combo he did to me and his brother Paxton Last week.
Last week, yep. You guys said you were practicing before Saturday.
For the tournament.
For the tournament. And
he figured all this out.
And there is a combo that if he had a couple of cards that he can upgrade, which we'll go over today, this is actually an infinite loop that you can do. And you can decide when you want to stop doing it at any point in time. So it's a stoppable infinite loop, I guess is the best way to put it.
Sure.
Yeah. So
there are some that aren't, but this is stoppable.
Yeah, this one is stoppable. So
well, I mean, really, all you need is a way to put the lands you went and got with him into play.
Well, there's even an easier way to do it with
Can't
one of
wait
the
to hear.
with one of the cards that I am recommending for your upgrade. So again, kind of just leaning towards the idea of this pre-con league that we're doing. Guys, pre-cons are good. They do know how to build the decks well, and very easily a couple of minor upgrades, like some of the ones we're going to go over today, you can have a fairly competitive deck that can stand its own.
Yep.
So,
very true. So that's very cool. So Tales from the Table today, I have a story from the Precon League. So round one, I got to play against Jeff, his first game, and he didn't do the first league, so this is his first game in a league. And there was a lot of removal. There was a lot of board wipes. There was a lot of stuff happening.
Well, tell who were we playing? I mean,
this was like the table to be at. I mean, it was myself,
the
Jeff,
table not to be at.
Andrew, and Bryce.
Okay, so
this was nobody is letting anything slide through.
Yeah, four well experienced, well played veterans.
So, my commander kept getting killed, and I'm like, okay, the first couple times. Now I'm like, for my 3-cost commander, I'm now paying like 9 mana. It's like, come on. And so Jeff's commander was going off. I mean, the first couple turns, he had like tons of counters. He's swinging for like 8-9 damage minimum a turn, and
but they killed him many times too.
Yeah, and so then I countered his commander at one point, and then when he brought it back out, I killed it again. And so he had killed my commander.
Yeah, I path to exile to your commander.
Yeah, and I think that's when I countered.
Which I kindly gave you a land.
I countered and then killed his commander right after that. And so a couple
probably
turns
with the land
later,
that you gave him.
Yeah, but you killed my commander and you were salty.
Yeah, probably.
You were salty.
But so it comes back around a couple turns later and just like, okay, I'm going to try this again. Are we good? I'm like, I don't know. Are we? Stop killing my commander. Yeah. And he's like,
oh, man.
He's like, okay. And then like a turn later, he goes, I only killed it once. I'm like, well, you killed it a couple. Okay, maybe it wasn't you, but somebody's been killing it. It was like,
no, you killed it more times because he's mad at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, look at my graveyard. I've had one interaction spell here. It's the two of them. I'm just attacking.
Yeah.
But it was your fault somehow.
Yes.
But in my head, it was deliberately Jeff.
You said you didn't stop them. That was your response.
that was me once I realized that I was wrong, just kind of sticking up for myself.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, aren't you Andrew's whipping boy? So whenever anyone does anything to Andrew, you get it? Yeah, okay. Well, you're Duncan's now.
Yeah,
so whenever anything happens to Duncan, it's your fault. Yep. And he takes it out on you.
Yeah, I even deliberately blame you.
I think I was just a straw. I killed it for the last time. He's like, that's it. I blame you for everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
So let's get to the email we had. This is from our longtime listener, longtime supporter, Tim. And this is what he had to say. He says, hey guys, I was playing with a friend group and I tend to have a hard time interacting with one of the players because I'm explaining the rules to them about interactions and how the timing rule applies to certain cards. I've learned a lot from you guys about specific rules and understanding priority and the stack. On Saturday, August 16th, I played with them again with people who don't play very often and are new to the game. I was helping the new players understand the rules and how certain cards they have interact with other cards they have. The person I have a hard time with has played the game for about the same time as I and won't forget his triggers, and I tend to remind him to help him out. Or there are times when he casts a spell and he's not reading it properly and has a hard time understanding the difference between +1 counters and just getting +1/+1. I am on the point of frustration when playing with this player. What more can I do apart from not playing with them to help them understand mechanics of the game and to be a better player? Thanks in advance, Timothy. So that was his email. So I think we all have some ideas. So just my first one was to say, if you learn stuff from this podcast, have them watch this podcast,
Oh, that's smooth.
right?
Yeah.
Great,
well done.
shameless plug.
I'm just
Nice.
saying.
Yeah.
Tim
Smooth.
himself admits that he's had,
Yeah.
but even if it's not our podcast, there are other podcasts. If he's
That's like when someone gets married, though, and you offer them a book on marriage. Or like they have their first baby, and here's a book on how to take care of a baby, which that's a little less of an issue. But.
I mean, it would be more like if you wrote that book that you gave them.
Yeah, that's true. That's more accurate.
Well, no, but he didn't write the book.
Oh,
He's
I see. I
suggesting
thought you
us.
meant what I said.
Yeah,
was
what
like
you
that.
said
Yeah.
is like that, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my first suggestion.
Okay.
Sloan?
Yeah, so the first thing I thought of is when it comes to helping people interact with their board, because this is something that I also tend to do a lot, is I help catch people's triggers for them and explain things. Like I explained something from one of my buddies literally just 2 nights ago when we were playing on how he could catch up and do a certain thing because he didn't realize it worked that way. And one of the things that I will say is, and it's something that I've had to do myself, is now with you teaching newer players, I would go about it this way. Is I would say, hey guys, so for this game, I'm going to try to not assist you as much as possible. I'm going to try to let you guys remember your triggers, remember the timing of things. And the only time I'm going to speak up is when it's just blatantly against the rules and it's not something that we can let go because it's just going to
Okay,
clearly
I'm just
break the rules.
clarifying though. You know, the new players weren't the ones that were
Right, I understand it. So,
Okay.
but the reason why I'm saying if you tee it up like this, because it doesn't feel like that one guy's getting targeted then, right?
Okay.
I'm not calling out this guy and saying, hey, you need to learn how to play the game. You've been playing as long as me. Because no one likes that feeling, right? Because then immediately you're going to be defensive and tense up and you're going to be aggravated. So what I would say is I would do like maybe the first game like normal, and then the second game say, all right, guys, so for this game, because I want to see how much you've retained, I'm going to be more hands-off this game. I want to see how well you guys remember your triggers and remember your interactions. And then, so what that will do is that would help everybody kind of be the policing, and everyone will kind of pay more attention. Because sometimes if you're the only one catching stuff and doing it, the other people, even though they're there, may not really be learning because they don't have, oh, you're doing it. I don't have to pay attention. He's figuring it out. He's fixing it. That would maybe be my suggestion on how to deal with it.
Jeff, what's your...
So my thing is, one, we don't know the personality of the person you're dealing with. Matter of fact, we don't even know your personality. So
Well,
it makes
I
it a
do.
little bit
I know his
difficult.
personality.
It makes it a little bit difficult to answer this question. But what I'd say is the important thing to know up front is that people and relationships are much more important than this game, and they're more important than having fun, even at this game. And when you understand that and you put people first, a lot of these situations tend to resolve themselves because you just become a more hospitable person. So like in our game with Duncan, if I don't, so I care about Duncan and he's a friend of mine. So when he's a little bit salty because he feels like I've targeted his commander many times, my response could be to get angry because he's accusing me of something I didn't do, right? And so I can hand him back the level and maybe amplified of what I felt. But it's better to just take a breath and go, hey, by the way, can I just show you? I've only killed your commander once. And then even if they respond with, yeah, but you didn't do anything to stop the others, you laugh and you have fun and you be lighthearted because it's a game.
Well, and I wasn't being serious.
No, he was joking at the time. But I have seen people from that joke still get angrier because it's just, you got to have fun at this game. And the second thing I would say is, if what you're doing is upsetting another player, you have to determine how necessary it is. Because sometimes it's necessary, like Johnny's saying, and sometimes you could be like, just let that go. Just let it go. It didn't matter if it didn't happen in the right order. The same outcome happened. It's fine. You don't always have to be teaching everybody. Not everybody wants to learn this game at the same level. And that's okay. Some people just want to play and have fun, and they don't care what the order of the triggers was. That can be maddening for someone like Duncan and Johnny. I'm a little bit more understanding of it because I really don't care and I do it.
It's simple humble brag there. Nice.
The other thing that I would say is it may be a conversation outside of the game where you pull this person aside and you say, hey, can we talk? This is what I feel like's happening. How can I make this? If I'm doing something to upset you, what can I do differently? And that's in the moment if the person's like, well, and just is completely unreasonable. Is like, I don't think you should ever help anyone. You should be quiet the whole game. Then you just have to decide whether you want to play with that person or not. And probably I'd be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm just going to choose not to play with you. Now, if it affects the whole friend group, it's tough, man. We've had some, not so much in Magic, but definitely in like role-playing games where we've had some challenges where you have to think, what's this going to do to the dynamic of the group? So, but we feel for you. If you send us a little more information in, maybe we can give you more specific stuff. And I'm happy to even answer you outside of the podcast, of course, too. Duncan, especially
well, we can respond back to the email too. I just thought it would be something worth bringing up.
It's a good question, though.
My other suggestions were similar to what Jeff said at the end there. I would talk to them before you play, not after. I mean, yes, that's outside the game, but there can still be feelings associated with that.
Sure.
Talk to them before you start playing. Say, hey, here's what I'm noticing. How do you feel about it? They may be just as frustrated that they aren't catching on.
That's a good point. Their frustration might not be at you.
It might be with that themselves, and you're the one. Like, it wasn't Jeff's fault my commander kept dying, but he's the one I lashed out at. So maybe it's a similar situation where they're not upset at you, but you're just the one bringing it up. Mm-hmm. So talk to them before the game. Ask them, how do you feel about it? And then if they seem open to it, say, okay, so do you understand the difference now between +1 counters and +1/+1 until end of turn? Or +1/+1 for every whatever.
And you have to be open to listen to people. Like, if the person's like, well, you're just pompous and arrogant when you say it. Yeah, that person might be being mean, but take a moment and think about it and go, how could I communicate differently? Even if they're wrong. It's always like, just be humble enough to go, what can I learn from this? How can I improve myself? Because it happens to all of us. All of us, and me, definitely Johnny, Duncan, all of us struggle with these type of things, and we just gotta, But as Johnny would say, we gotta be better.
Right, but talk to them beforehand. See how they feel about it. If they're comfortable, then with you explaining to them, maybe they don't like it when you do it in front of people and doing it outside is better. Or you can say, well, how would you like me to bring it up when you're doing it wrong in game so I don't embarrass you?
Exactly.
Because somebody else might bring it up, it's still going to embarrass you. What can I do to help mitigate that but still help you fix it?
Like, maybe it's just playing one-on-one with the person a bunch of times.
Yes.
And you guys build in that relationship. That'd be cool.
If you go over, for instance, hey, you can keep track above the board your +1/+1s that aren't counters.
Your temporary ones.
Your temporary ones. Keep track of those separately. Again, going back to that, have different colored dice so that it doesn't confuse them. If it's triggers, hey, what about giving them ideas on, hey, what about giving yourself a reminder by doing this? Like we've talked about, putting something on top of your deck or whatever. Turning the card that you want to remember upside down so you remember its trigger, whatever it is.
Right.
Find out what things we might be able to do to help them remember themselves rather than you having to tell them every time. Those are my suggestions. And if they're just like, I don't like the way you do it, then partner with somebody else in the friend group and say, what if they help you?
Yeah, and then on that, the last thing is, good on you for learning the game. Sometimes in life, we can learn and improve ourselves, and sometimes you learn and improve yourself right out of relationships.
Yeah.
That's not your fault. That's on the other person, and you just hope that doesn't happen very often, but it does happen.
Right. So, I mean, if none of this works, and they're like, I know what I'm doing, and you're just a jerk, at that point, it's just time to walk away.
Yep.
So, but I hope that helped you. And like I said, we can give you more feedback, or if you want to send in more details that maybe we didn't catch on to, that might help too. So let's move on to our main topic, top green upgrades for Precons.
Yeah.
In our opinion.
In our humble opinion, as Jeff said.
I would like to start with we just talked about the combo. Let's go into what were the cards, cards that we're going to make.
There's two specific cards in this instance that don't cost you anything additional once they're on the field. There's nothing really you have to do. They just will make the combo work. So the first one, and the more cost-affordable option, is Tireless Provisioner. So Tireless Provisioner says, whenever a land it has landfall. So whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, either create a food token or a treasure token. This card costs $1.75 for just the standard printing. There's some fancy ones that cost more, but if you go with the standard printing, it's about
And it's 2 in
$1.75.
green mana, right?
Yeah, and the actual cost is 2 and a green, and it's a 3/2 Elf Scout. So the reason why this works with the combo is when Yavimaya comes back in as a forest, that is a land hitting the field. You then create the treasure. You then tap him for the green. You flip him over with Zamon's ability. You have the 1 green floating. You now have the free treasure. You tap that. You get to draw a card. And you keep doing it over and over and over again because he will continually trigger putting a treasure into play when he enters because he is a forest. And giving you the green man by tapping him. So that's the first of 2 cards that you could do it. The second card's a little bit more monetary cost-wise expensive. The cheapest printing I found was about $6.
I had no idea Lotus Cobra. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So this one's Lotus Cobra.
No idea it was that expensive.
Yeah. So this one's a little bit more expensive. But what Lotus Cobra does is that, again, it's a landfall trigger. And it says whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you can add 1 mana of any color. So again, essentially kind of the same idea. Now the advantage of this is it's not a permanent that someone can try to target, or it's not a permanent that can be quote unquote turned off by something else. So this just adds the mana to your pool. So then you tap Yavimaya for green, same concept. You then flip them over with Zamon's ability, and then you create the loop of
Can I ask
constantly
a question?
drawing.
Because I just realized something that I didn't realize the first time. Going back to the combo, does that guy who makes them a forest creature give them haste?
They're not a forest creature, they're just a forest.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So it doesn't need haste.
It's a forest land. It's just a land.
Can you read it again?
Yeah. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may return it to the battlefield face down
okay.
under its owner's control. It's a forest land.
And she says face down permanent, not face down creature.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, gotcha. That's the part I was missing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we did have to
in my-
check that.
In my head, I thought she was just creatures. I assumed she was creatures
No.
because that's what she makes.
Going back to the letter, just so I think it was Tim, right?
Yes.
So I don't know the rules like these 2 gentlemen, and anybody out there is like that. It's important to know that. When I'm playing with my kids, many times I'm calling these 2 jabronis and asking them what to do. And so I had called Johnny on this for some other interactions with this, and we were confused because this deck has a lot of stuff going on. But we figured out it is permanent.
Yeah, and the reason why she says permanent is because Manifest Dread technically doesn't have to be a creature either that you Manifest Dread. You could Manifest Dread a land.
Yeah.
So that's why she says permanent, because her ability would be significantly weakened if you could only flip over creatures. So with that saying permanent, that's how that combo works. So that would allow him to draw his entire library pretty much at an instant speed that cannot be really interacted with, because everything you can do an instant speed response to it getting targeted.
Okay, you're responding to that. I'm going to do it again on the stack.
Right,
And
exactly.
if he had both things, it would not only be draw your whole deck, it'd be infinite mana and draw your whole deck.
You would be
well,
able
not
to
infinite, but almost.
Yeah, as
you run
many
out of
times
cards
as
in
you
your
do
deck.
it. Right, yeah, as many times as you can possibly do it. So that is the combo pieces that you could simply add to this deck to make that combo work to a point of which I decide, you know what, I'm done drawing cards.
And
I'm
both
extra
those
50.
cards actually just work really well in the deck, by the way.
Again, and for most green decks also, which is the whole point of this, because most of your green decks are going to have ramp pieces in them where they're putting lands into play. So being able to double up your lands, quote unquote, by either producing a land that goes immediately into your pool, a mana that goes immediately into your pool, or producing a treasure token you can use on a later turn, even if that land comes in tapped, it doesn't matter. You still get those triggers.
Right. And now Tireless Provisioner is in some precons.
Yes, that one's a little bit more readily available in the precons because, again, it's a more...
And Lotus Cobra is in more of the top tier precons. It's been in a couple.
Right.
That's why it's still kind of expensive, because it hasn't been printed as much as Tireless Provisioner.
Right. So, but there are still some green precons that are out there that don't have these in them just because of either the synergy they decided to go with was slightly different. But almost without fail, anytime you're going to be able to double up on a land coming into play in green, you're going to benefit.
Well, nowadays I think they more put Tireless. Is it Tireless Witness in there? There's another one
Tireless
that makes,
Tracker?
that investigates. Yeah, Tireless Tracker.
Tireless
Yeah,
Tracker.
That's what it is. Yeah, it investigates. So they're using that one more than Provision.
Yeah, because that's a draw engine because you create a clue token, which is pay 2, tap it, sack it,
Yep.
draw a card.
Jeff, what's your first card you want to suggest as an upgrade?
Well, the ones that I like are, it's actually, we'll just get 2 for 1 here, Utopia Sprawl and Wild Growth. They're both cost 1 green. They're enchantments or enchantment auras that attach to a land and then allow you to tap with for an extra mana. Now, Utopian Sprawl lets you tap for a mana of any color.
Right.
Well, you choose a color, and then it can tap for that color.
The other one just does whatever it was tapped for?
No, an
green.
additional green. It will always give an additional green.
Okay.
Yeah, and you and one of them's enchant land, and one of them enchant forest. So you have to be careful of that.
Yeah.
But they're both 1 mana, basically. And yes, you can destroy the enchantments, but most people don't do a ton of enchantment destruction, especially not going to waste it on this unless it's a board wipe. So they're fairly safe attached to a land as opposed to a creature that's 1 mana, like an elf that taps for mana.
And then you got wait a turn. And
yeah, and then on top of that, it's going to get board wiped almost assuredly.
So the first one I will bring up is Elemental Resonance. So this is one I had clued Jeff into a little while ago, and it's just real good. It's 2 and 2 green enchant permanent at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. Add mana equal to enchanted permanent's mana cost to your mana pool. It doesn't matter what colors you're playing. You're going to have permanents. They're going to have, even if it's your commander, whatever it is, you're going to get that amount of mana and its colors every turn.
Yeah.
So that one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the nice thing about that one too is because it does say enchant permanent, so there are some artifacts that have colors in them as part of their cast CMC, so you would still get those. Like, for example, a really nutty one to put that on that I can think of that's green would be the Great Henge, because it's 7 green.
Yeah.
So getting 9 mana, 2 of it being green, not a bad trade-off for 4 mana.
Yep.
No,
it's
not
pretty
at
good.
all.
So things
And
like
it's
that.
less likely to be destroyed than a creature.
Put it on Galta, which costs less because of your other creatures.
Right.
And that's a 12.
Yeah, exactly. So having that say enchant permanent is a huge bonus in that regard, because it gives you a lot more variety. And that card, according to this, is coming in right around $2 for that upgrade. So a pretty significantly affordable card in regards to something that does pretty big ramp for you.
And that's my second most expensive card in the list I made. I'll go ahead and tell you the other one since I have your attention right now. Noxious Revival.
Yep.
So this one costs 1 green Phyrexian. So that's either 1 green mana or 2 life.
Right.
Never pay the mana.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're at 2 life, I would pay the mana.
No, go out on your own terms.
If you're at 2 life, you might.
And this one says put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. So you're going to usually want to do this to yourself, although there may be instances where you do want to do it to somebody else.
Yeah, when they just tutored something up. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
you put the other thing on top. You're like, no, I'm not going to let you have that. Sorry.
But it is an instant, so you can do this right before your turn and then have it right there so you can draw it on your turn. Very cheap recursion.
Yeah, also, back to what Duncan just said, this is, for example, a lot of people always ask, how to save your commander from board wipes. I kind of, from getting killed and stuff like that if you're not playing Boo with counter spells. Well, let your commander hit the graveyard. If no one exiles your graveyard right before your turn, great. I'm going to put it on top of my library. Now he doesn't cost 2 more or 4 more or 6 more. He's just his base cost again.
Right.
So that is a good way to cheat the command tax, which I know a lot of people always ask about. How do you cheat command tax or save my commander if I don't have counters?
Right.
That's a good way to do
And
it.
if you're like, well, but what if they try and steal it out of my graveyard or something? This is instant seed. So in response, put it on top of your graveyard.
Yeah.
So the other 2 options for this are Balaged Recovery, which is 2 and a green. It's a land that on the back side is a sorcery. On the front side is a sorcery. Return target card from your graveyard to your hand. That's Balaged Recovery. And then the other one is, of course, Eternal Witness, which people call Ewit. Mm-hmm. And the advantage of Balaged is it's a land.
Right.
Okay?
That's a double use card in your deck.
Right.
The advantage of Ewit is it's a creature. So you can flicker it. You can bring it back from the graveyard as a creature. Noxious Revival you can certainly bring back from the graveyard too. But a lot of graveyard decks target creatures more than this. So you will see a lot of people play Ewit more, but I don't know if it's necessarily better.
I mean, I think, Ewit has its place, but this is cheaper,
Yeah.
faster,
And then it's also at instant speed. So
But I do think it costs
Well, that's
more
what
money.
faster meant.
yeah.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it is very
Ewood's probably very, very cheap. I haven't looked it up recently.
Yeah, she's not an expensive card. She's reprinted like every 2-3 months or something.
Which is probably why you see her more. I don't even know if she's better. This might be a better card. Are you going to talk about any others, Duncan?
Well, I'll throw a couple more, and then we'll go back
Okay.
to you. I know Sloan didn't have as many because he
work.
he works, as he says.
Or as I tricked people into believing.
What did we do all day?
So this is one I teased Jeff with before because he
Yeah.
said he didn't know it. Instill Energy. This is an old school card. I have it in Unlimited, and I think it hasn't been printed much since then. It's cost a single green mana, enchant creature. Target creature can attack the turn it comes into play on your side, and you can pay 0 during your turn only. Untap target creature, instill energy, enchants. And you can only use that once per turn. So
So it's a pseudo vigilance and haste.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it has so many other uses. Depending on your deck, it may be more or less useful. But it is haste for attacking, not for abilities. But if you do have an ability and it's not summoning sick, you can untap it to do it again.
Right.
Which is very good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has some good uses in a lot of decks. And this card is sitting at 87 cents.
Yeah, and again, that being a 1-drop, that's something that you could, for example, if you put that on a mana dork, you can tap it for 2 mana once the turn goes around. Because you can tap it,
yes.
pay 0 to untap it, and then tap it again. So
The
you can
haste won't do anything.
Yeah, the haste wouldn't help you, but you being able to tap it and untap it to produce 2 mana definitely helps. Like on a Birds of Paradise.
Yeah.
I get 2 mana of any color I want off of 1 bird that cost me 1 green.
Yeah.
And this enchantment cost me 1 green. They literally pay for themselves on the turn that gets on it.
Yep.
So that is a pretty cool one. I've never heard of that one either.
And then this one, you might also not know. Vitalize. Another single green instant.
Jeez.
Untap all creatures you control.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's real good in
Right?
green. That's real good.
That's
in green.
real good in any color if you have creatures.
Yeah.
You know?
As long as you got green in there.
Yeah, if you were swinging, you can now untap and block.
Yeah.
If you have mana dorks, you can untap them all, do it again
Yeah.
for a single green. So that one sits at $1.20.
Yeah.
Noxious Revival, by the way, was $4.49. I don't think I did point it out.
Yeah. So the next one I had was Beast Whisper, which is sitting around $2.66. And Beast Whisper, the reason why I like it in green, because a lot of time green decks are pretty creature heavy, and it says whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. It's 2 and a green, 2/3 elf druid. So it's a little expensive, but one of the things, if you're in green decks, a lot of times you're really good at getting lands out and digging for lands. Sometimes you're lacking a lot of draw. This is a great way because you're going to want to put creatures out because all your mana dorks are creatures for the most part. You know, your Llanowar elves, your Birds of Paradise, all those good guys. And then on top of that, he's okay. He's got a 3 so he's not like really the easiest thing to kill. And so he's a decent blocker when someone tries to swing a little 2/2 at you or a little 1/1 just to leave up. So I like him when you're in the creature heavy side of green.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Especially if you're leaning towards more of the dorks, because a lot of the draw in green is based on their power and toughness many times. So it has to be over a certain number, whereas this doesn't care.
Yeah, this is just, you cast it, great. You're going to draw now.
Yep. So you got a couple more, Jeff?
Yeah, so I obviously like to ramp and card draw. For me, I
Really?
feel like the card draw is pretty easy because everybody kind of knows it. I might talk about some of it, but it is what it is in green. But some of the cards in green that ramp, some people don't pay attention to. So like Open the Way, I think is amazing. Although I feel like people have caught on to this card now. X green. X can't be greater than the number of players in the game. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal X land cards. Put those land cards onto the battlefield tapped and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You're getting any land. So, like, you can pop Gaia's Cradle off the top. Like, you can do the land that gets you zombies. You can do
Field of the
Nykthos, Field of the Dead. Any of this stuff you can get up. 3 Tree City. Like, just tons of stuff is crazy. Then one of my favorites also is Carpet of Flowers. That's an old school one. 1 green during your main phase. You may add up to X mana of any color to your mana pool, where X is the number of islands target opponent controls, which is always super fun. And then for removal, I think this one doesn't, I don't see it a lot, but it's got a high, it costs a lot. It's like $7. So maybe it hasn't been printed a lot. I don't know. Song of the Dryads, 2 and a green, enchant permanent. So first of all, it's targeting anything. That's very important. Mm-hmm. Enchanted permanent is a colorless forest land. That's amazing. Yeah, that's just really good.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then the last one I have that's kind of fun, which I have more because I love green, but Skull Spore Nexus doesn't get enough of love either, I don't think. 6 green. This spell costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, create a green fungus dinosaur creature token with base power and toughness, each equal to the total power of those creatures. That's enough by itself. And then on top of that, pay 2, tap it, double target creature's power until end of turn. So someone board wipes and then you just kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good answer to a board wipe.
Yeah.
Couple more I had. So Croson Grip.
Yeah.
This is an older card that some of the older players know, but they don't put it in Precons really anymore. So newer players don't know it. It's 2 and a green for an instant with split second. So split second, for those that don't know, as long as the spell is on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Mm-hmm. Destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Yep, that's a good one.
It is a good one. It's 87 cents, or no, 75 cents, sorry. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. And then my second to last one is Shared Summons. So, there are Worldly Tutor. It's on the Game Changers list, and it's very expensive. But this is a pretty good tutor. It's 3 and 2 green. It's an instant. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards with different names. Reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library.
Very good.
Yeah, not bad.
Yep. Do you have one or two more you had, Jeff?
Well, I'll talk about this one here because this is a more expensive one. This is like $15, but it's just so good. Defense of the Heart, 3 and a green. During your upkeep, if your opponents... Oh, it went away. If your opponents control 3 or more creatures, sacrifice Defense of the Heart, search your library for up to 2 creature cards, and put those creatures into play. Shuffle your library afterwards. Basically, the way most people play this, which you don't have to do it that way, you could just have fun, is you basically you tutor up a instant win.
Yep.
A combo, and you win. And there's so many 2 creature combos.
But if you're not playing combo, this is every turn.
You sacrifice it.
Oh, you sacrifice
You do have to sacrifice it, yeah.
But I play this, and I don't always go get the combo. I sometimes just get stuff that's fun.
Well, you could just get really good value, or whatever. But yeah, it can be a game winner.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, for sure, yeah.
And then the only other one that people forget about is Mosswork Bridge. Hideaway 4. This land enters tapped. Green, tap it. You may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost if you control total power of creatures 10 or greater. That's so easy to do in green. It's just so easy.
Yep.
So sometimes you can miss on this, but I've gotten crazy stuff off of that card. Just so simple.
Yep. So the last one I have is Kona Rescue Beastie. Mm-hmm. This is a newer one. This is from Duskmorn. 70 cents.
I don't know how it's 70 cents.
It's because they printed the ever-living heck out of it. I mean, they just printed it
From
to death.
what set again?
Duskmorn.
That was the horror
Yeah,
set.
no one bought that one, did they?
I mean, there was a lot of actually really good cards in there. Lord of Pain came out of there, which I know was a lot of people really wanted. That was like I don't know if it still is, but it was like a $25 card for a while.
Yep.
I can look.
Yeah. It was holding value because it's so good.
This one is just so good. 3 and a green for a 4/3 legendary creature beast survivor. He has an ability they call Survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Kona Rescue Beastie is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield.
Crazy.
Any permanent at all. Whatever you want.
So I actually have a buddy that has this as a commander for a commander deck. And I was talking to him about it because he was like, I just feel like I'm always like somewhat lacking with it. And I said, well, how do you play it? So I'll tell you how he plays it and tell me what you think of when you first read that card. So he says he basically plays it to where he gets to put out all these huge creatures for free, right? Because you get to put one creature out for free. So that's kind of the concept he built it around. And so at his second main phase, he either attacks or finds a way to tap down his commander, and then he gets to put one big creature out for free. That's how he plays it. When you first thought of it, how did you think? This is how I built it.
That's how you break it, for sure. Like, that's what you're just going to vomit out your worst stuff. If you're a really bad person, you're vomiting out Blightsteel Colossus or Emrakul or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
Eldrazi.
Yeah.
Blightsteel.
So there's that. But just in a Precon, any of your permanents, you got enchantments you want to get out there you go. Mm-hmm. Hard to counter something that you're not casting.
Yeah, I mean, so, but if you were to helm him as a commander.
If I were to helm him as a commander.
What would be your strategy?
I mean, big things is obviously the easiest thing to do.
Okay. Jeff, what did you think? What would be, if he was your commander, at your second main phase, if he's tapped, you get to put a permanent into play for free. What's the first thing you kind of think of I want to build him like blank?
I mean, I'm probably with Duncan. I'm probably doing Eldrazi.
So,
because it's gross.
And I told him, I said, I 100% agree that most people are kind of building that way. However, because I'm Sloan and I'm like, I'm going to go against everybody else, the first thing I thought of was landfall. Because the advantage of a landfall, if you do it that way, is you get the benefits immediately. The downside with doing it that way with the big creatures is you've already passed your attack phase. You can't do anything with them. They're just sitting there for a whole turn for 3 other people to target and kill.
Why have you passed your attack phase?
Because he only gets
Second
to put
main.
it out is in your second main.
Yeah.
So unless you have a way to do multiple attack phases and give them haste, you can't
Which
use
is
them
tough
that
in
turn.
green.
Right, in
Yeah.
mono green, right?
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, you should maybe look into doing a landfall deck. Because the advantage is I'm going to put the creatures out, and then I'm going to put a land out for free and get 3 landfall triggers. On top of my already landfall trigger I got from my first turn when I put a land out. And then I'm playing green. Of course I'm ramping. I'm probably going to get a 3rd landfall trigger. So I told him, I said, I like that card a lot. I definitely see the desire and the want of, I'm going to shove a 17 cost creature in here and drop it out for free. Which is really cool until you realize I have to wait 3 turns to actually use it.
Yeah, but
and I don't know if it's going to make it. And so I think the landfall is actually a really cool way to build that guy, in my opinion. But I do see the appeal of the
if you
big
do
creatures.
Eldrazi, though, you have stuff where, like, one of the Eldrazi's will counter spells. One of the Eldrazi says that, like, you can only play, like, even numbered
Yeah, or
cards, and then,
odd
like,
numbers, yeah.
like,
There's silly ones out there for
There's
sure.
ones that, even though they can't attack, they come out, and you're like, I give up. Like,
Yeah.
that's the kind of cards I want to play.
Yeah, because the other thing I told him too is I said because
Omniscience.
technically it's a triggered ability, you could also run Strionic Resonator, and you could get double triggers off of
Yeah.
it, so you can put out twice as much stuff or any other things that allow you to double trigger.
And then I think he's good in the 99, too, because,
Yeah.
like, you play Omniscience off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Well,
a
that's
lot
what I'm
of fun.
saying. In a Precon.
Yeah, in a Precon, he's a good.
Yeah.
For 70 cents, that is a hard upgrade to pass.
And the thing I would point out about the landfall, the thing that strikes me about that, there's a ton of green things that say play an additional land, play 2 additional lands, play another additional land. I don't think you need them as that.
Right, but my only point is because if you build around the landfall concept, every time you put a land in, you're getting 6 benefits instead of I get 1
But
benefit
why wouldn't
one
you
time.
just play a Sousa?
Because Asusa is, in my opinion, she's a little too narrow-minded because you can put.
You can put a Sousa out with him.
Yeah, you can put Asusa out with it because again, he gets the advantage of I can put any permanent I want. So on those times where I don't have a land this time, all right, I'll drop this huge creature this time.
And
now.
the other thing is because
You know,
you're
so
putting
he's
it
more
into
versatile.
play, I think getting around the countering
Yeah, that's
is one
it.
of the
That's
best
it.
abilities.
Yeah.
So if you have all that stuff for a landfall deck, I guess the thing is
He's definitely going to make it in my Eldrazi deck just for fun. Like, I'm just going to regularly. What kind of creature is he?
He's like a beast, a horror beast, I think, or something
Is
like
he?
that.
a
Right?
beast survivor.
Yeah, whatever
I
that
think
means.
if anybody's going to survive with the Eldrazi, it's a survivor. Little beastie survivor.
Yeah.
So,
Put him in there.
but yeah, he's a
See
good
what he can
upgrade
do.
for sure. I think he's a cool card that, again, Duskborn was a weird set, so a lot of those cards just kind of flew underneath the
I think that'd be
radar.
fun to have an Eldrazi deck and then play this little guy, and people are like, "Wait, what?" And then they're like, "Oh, that's scarier than the Eldrazi."
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's just ridiculous because you don't have to attack with him. He is a
just need him
4/3.
tapped.
So, I mean, 4 is a bit of damage. It's not a lot, but it's in that range where maybe they don't have some blockers that tough. But you don't have to do that. If you have vehicles, you can crow a vehicle.
Yeah.
If you have
Vehicles for the
Springleaf
win,
Drum,
baby.
you can tap him for mana. You
Right.
know.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways to get him to tap down without having to sacrifice him potentially dying to a blocker, which is
You know what? If you have a way to put a stun counter on him,
Yeah.
or several,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
just
that's
keep him
amazing.
stunned. Just
just keep him stunned.
Yeah.
You don't care.
yeah, I don't care. Yeah, leave him tapped down.
All right, those are good choices.
Yep. So those are our suggestions for top green cards to upgrade your precons with. Take them for what they're worth, but I think dollar-wise they're not worth much, but I think they can help you out.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely some good upgrades there. And again, there's a lot of variety in these cards that we kind of gave, but for the most part, again, the whole point is most green decks have something that could really easily be replaced by one of these cards, and this card is just a much bigger benefit for you in that precon.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the precon's the first thing you replace is the lands. There's way too many lands in these precons.
Yeah,
No,
there's
there's not. There's bad lands.
There's like 37 in some of these precons.
there's
It's way
30,
too-
correct
37,
amount of
38.
It is not. It's way
Yes.
too many.
No,
lands.
it's
So
not.
me-
It's not if you have like the 9 mana rocks.
I mean,
they
I
have
guess
in
if
there.
you're playing green, it's
my
probably
kids
not
and
too
I
much.
have started. We've stopped playing the friendly mulligan rules. We started playing by the actual rules, where you get a free mulligan and then after that you go down a card.
Yeah.
If you're playing by the actual rules, I'm telling you, you need land.
I've
I don't
never
know
had
what
that
you're
issue.
saying. We always play by the
Yeah.
actual rules.
I've
No,
never had that
there was
issue.
a time where you guys played the friendly version,
But
where
we
like
let newer people or people who are playing
Yeah,
a
I
new
let
deck, we let those people play friendly rules.
okay,
but
well
we
I
don't.
still do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't.
All
Yeah,
right.
if you need more than one mulligan to get their lands in your hand, then you did something wrong.
Yeah, you didn't put enough lands in your deck.
No,
Oh.
you just are bad.
Well, it can happen. It's happened to you even, so I hear it.
What?
You're bad.
No.
It's happened to you where you're like, I can't get. The difference is you're like, I'll play a one-land hand then. I don't care.
And then the top deck gods shine down their beautiful light on me, and I top deck 3 lands in a row.
Sometimes.
not
Other
how
times
it
you
normally
sit there
happens.
suing and getting upset because you got no
No,
mana.
he doesn't
Oh.
sit there too long. I'll kill him.
Yeah, I just get killed.
No
It's fine.
mercy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna start with one land, you should die.
Listen, I got a deck with 28
Not
lands
in
in
real
it,
life.
and I
That is a
overdraw
hot
lands.
take.
Not
I'm
in
going to
real
click
life,
just that real
folks.
thing. And
Yeah.
Just
I'm
in
just
the
going to
game.
click
That's
that
our-
little thing and put it on loop.
Our YouTube instant reel is going to go way through the roof with that one. So
You got any pro tips for us?
I do have a pro tip. The pro tip, though, it's not for you, our beautiful fans, or the beautiful Magic the Gathering players. It's not for any of you. It's for Wizards of the Coast.
Be better?
Well, it's very specifically, as you guys know, I'm very excited for the Avatar set. To the point
Really?
of where
I wish you'd bring it up more
I know.
often.
To the
What's
point of where
Avatar?
I'm probably annoying them. However, I checked today. There is almost 50-something cards now spoiled for avatars. We haven't even gotten to Spider-Man yet. Wizards, stop. You're doing way too much here. I don't know why you think that we need to know the entire Avatar set 2 months before it comes out, or 3 months actually, because September, October, yeah, November 24th, I think, is the release date. Why do we, like, there's way too much stuff that you're spoiling, and I now have talked to multiple people in my friend group that said, I'm just going to skip Spider-Man. Like, I don't even care
Yeah,
about
I think
Spider-Man
they're
now.
hurting themselves.
You guys are hurting yourselves. You're not letting any sets have a chance to shine and be the focus of your spotlight. And Spider-Man comes out next month, and I know half my friend group now is pretty much saying, nah, I'm not going to buy any Spider-Man. I don't care anymore. I'd rather get the Avatar stuff because some of the Avatar stuff they're showing is so good, or they like it so much more that they're now going to save up for that instead.
But this is a bit of like recency bias for you, though. I mean,
No,
it's
it's
your
not.
Yeah, it is. It's your specific friend group.
Yep, no,
Yeah,
but
no,
I'm
but
telling you, there's a lot of people
They have
saying
shown so much stuff for Avatar so early. It's so unnecessary. And I love Avatar. I want this set. My point is, none of my friends are as into Avatar as I am. None of them are. They're not even close. Half of them haven't even watched the show, but they still are going to skip over Spider-Man because they're like, I'd rather get the Avatar stuff. It looks better.
It might be because the Spider-Man set is just not that good.
But the point is, if they actually let the Spider-Man set shine and not spoil everything for the other sets that are months and months out, then people would be focusing on the Spider-Man set and be more inquired or more.
I would go a step further to say their whole release structure for this year was wrong.
It was very poorly done.
You should have had one Universes Beyond January, one in June, and one in December. Then they're so far apart.
Yep.
You're not stealing from one to feed the other.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man is also hurt because it was so close. It's only one set away from Final
Fantasy.
Well, they
which was
also
crazy.
So many people went all in on that.
Right. They didn't.
Yeah, they
They
also
didn't
heard
buy
it
Edge
by
of
the
Eternities,
release.
and they're not going to buy Spider-Man. They'll wait for Avatar, even if they don't care about Avatar because of money fatigue.
They also heard it because of the way they released Spider-Man, because they just released it with, what are those original starter decks, which have all terrible cards in it. So
And
from
they're
the very
only-
beginning, they didn't do a very good
welcome
job.
decks.
Yeah, the welcome decks.
So
that's
I mean,
what
the
they're
welcome decks have a place, right?
Yeah,
They're
they
for
do.
new players. That's why they're not great cards, because they're supposed to be low power, easy to understand, basic cards.
Get you into the game and
Yeah.
mechanics.
I
But
don't think they're very welcoming.
But my point is my pro tip is to Wizards. You guys got to figure this out, because the fact that we know almost 60 unique cards now from Avatar, which is 3 months away, is insane. That's too many cards. That's, if we're going off of the stats that me and Duncan looked at a couple episodes ago, we're almost halfway through all of the cards that are going to be.
No,
because you said 200.
240, I think.
So we're a third of the way through all of the cards you're going to release.
A quarter of the way through.
And we have 3 months till the set, and we still have Spider-Man to get through.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Wizards.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
They really botched this schedule by having 3 Universes Beyond so close together, and then are further aggravating it by, hey, you're already probably going to wait for Avatar. Why don't we show you that?
Yeah.
I wonder if they just know something that we don't know. I wonder if Spider-Man is just not a very good
I mean,
set.
I would also go a further step to say they've also hurt Spider-Man and Avatar a little bit, but I think more Spider-Man by not having the commander decks in it.
Yeah.
It's a weird choice, especially if you're aiming at newer players.
Yeah, that's a meta that you have cut out from buying a certain product because it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah. So,
And their answer is, it's an answer to product fatigue. No, wait, then spread out your commander decks so you didn't have back-to-back commander decks, and then the last 2 you're like, now we're out.
I wonder if these are just internal decisions within the company. Like, I wonder if these are just more like.
So we're going down a
political
little bit of a
things.
rabbit hole, but
Right.
Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast in general have just been making really poor decisions.
well, and the thing that's crazy, too, is it
really
feels like they
poor.
make a really good one and then like 10 bad ones.
Yeah, it's like, wait, we did something good, we got screwed
I mean,
up. They're botching D&D. They're they lost their lead product designer to Daggerheart.
Final Fantasy was a big hit, though. I mean, like,
but that's my point.
nailed that one. Like,
Right, they did really good with that. And then everything else, we only got 2 decks out of Edge of Eternities for Commander. Whoever is going to play 2, like, no
They
one
were
wants.
both great decks.
Yeah, but then if I go
if
to sit
4
down in a
people want to sit
pod,
down and
yeah,
play
we're going to have
Precons.
two repeats. Like, with the whole point of doing the 4 is everyone gets to play a unique deck. Everyone can play something different. But instead, I'm going to have 2 guys playing 2 of the exact same decks in one pod. Which is like, why?
What they should have done if they wanted
I
to
don't-
speak to product fatigue,
Yeah.
don't print every set with commander decks, do every other, and print 4 commander decks in each one.
And stop doing the 75 freaking secret layers. Like,
Yeah,
calm down.
I
That is
agree with.
ridiculous.
Yeah, calm down on that.
All right. Again, we're
And
going.
I know. I'm sorry. I started this. I'm very sorry, but that was my
on a
point.
box.
Yeah, that was my point. Was that my pro tip is Wizards? You got to figure this out. We know way too much about Avatar, and we haven't even hit Spider-Man yet. It's insane. But with that being said, the one card I will bring up from Avatar is called Sokka's Haiku. It's from a very important episode in the show. If you haven't seen it, it's a super cool card, and go ahead and look at it and see if you understand why it's such a well done card.
Yeah,
if you can figure
is,
it out.
It is very cool.
Don't jump ahead like Wizards.
Yeah,
Talk about that card when we get
You're
there.
like,
It's 3
hey,
months away.
don't talk about cards in Avatar when we haven't reached Spider-Man. But I'm going to speak about
Yeah,
a
it's
card.
3 months away, dude.
They already brought it up, and they released it on their 1 hour preview
I'm
show.
just saying, if you're going to yell at somebody, yell at yourself. You just helped them do it.
I didn't help them do it. I already pointed out one that they already did. But with that being said, that is
All right.
that is my pro tip.
Close us out, Duncan.
All right. So thank you guys for joining us. If you want to find us, you can always find us at youtube.com/@commanderspod. You can always email us, cast@commanderspod.com. Check out our website, commanderspod.com. Patreon.com/commanderspod. If you want to support us, we'd love to have you. And then any podcast site you can imagine, you're going to find us. Spotify, Audible, iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, you name
I
it.
noticed you wrote those down.
Yeah, because it's not that I forget them, but it's like, wait, which ones have I done? Which ones haven't I done?
No.
So,
And like us and share and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Too.
yeah, and
Notification
again,
bell.
if you're getting something out of this, Tim, then share it with your other friends. Tim, if you're wondering how
I
to
guess
make
shout out to Tim.
Yeah. I'm just saying, he said, how do I make my friend better? Let him watch our podcast.
That's how you make sense. We can bring peace to the world. Just
That's
watch
right.
our podcast.
If you just watch our podcast, then you're too busy.
Yeah, and then you can always hear me tell you just to be better, which
No.
always sound advice.
This is episode 78,
My
Yeah,
head.
and we average about
Don't
an
go
hour
back and
per
listen to some of
episode.
the
Yeah.
early
So
ones,
that's
though.
78 hours
Yeah.
that nobody can do anything wrong if they're watching our podcast.
that's 100% accurate
Yeah,
statement.
No, they could still do things wrong.
Yep.
while
Bring
watching
this
our
to
podcast.
Israel.
They could. All right.
Anyway, as always, play bold, swing wide, and don't forget to pay the one.
Command